Ho, 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 ho.
All right, everyone. Welcome to David's Saturday Night Sitback. And this afternoon, joining me in the studio is Darion Terry, an athlete, brown belt, entertainer, trainer, 4 times college wrestling All-American, 3-time IBJJF World Gold Medalist. And you can find some of Darion's workouts on YouTube, where he likes to talk MMA, and he'll be your guide for all things nutrition, fitness, and entertainment. Darion also went to Missouri Valley College to get his bachelor's in business administration, and later went to Linwood University to get his master's in business healthcare administration. He spent a little bit of time aligned with companies you know, such as Sprint, the Department of Veteran Affairs, and most recently has spent almost a decade working as an account manager for one of the leading healthcare enterprises in the U.S. Today, Darion is joining me to talk all things MMA, Jiu-Jitsu, wrestling, fitness, mindset, goal setting, comedy, AI, and we will see what other rabbit holes we venture down today. Darion, thank you for being here, and welcome to your episode on David's Saturday Night Sitback.
Thank you, Dave. Hey, man, that was a great intro right there, bro. I wouldn't have done anything different than that, man. Hell yeah.
Perfect. yeah, I found you on LinkedIn. Obviously, I found your Instagram account.
Oh, yeah.
That's how we got in touch with each other in the first place. Just to kick things off here, a couple opening questions for you. Why do you think, knowing what we're going to be talking about, why do you think the audience should stick around for this episode today?
I think they want to stick around because they want something kick-ass in their lives.
Yeah!
I think they want something fucking invigorating. I think they want something refreshing. Yeah. I think they, you know, you just like come into a new Sprite, just crank into it for the first time, and all that fucking, that fizz hit you. I think they want that in their lives. That's what they're going to get.
That was the best answer that some people sort of dance around it because I think I'm letting you humbly brag, right? That question is, you know, tell people why you're awesome. And I think some people with almost like a, you know, they're trying to be humble and they're like, well, maybe we'll do this, maybe we'll accomplish that, but you just you just went for it.
Fuck it.
Do you have anyone that you hope this episode reaches?
Man, just anybody who wants to have who has an ear, man, has an ear for comedy, that has an ear for martial arts, that has an ear for combat, that has an ear for just hearing intelligent, intellectual conversations. Anybody that just wants to dabble in the grand world and grand scheme of greatness. Let's just go there.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Who is Darion? Obviously, I just read a lot of titles, right?
Yeah.
But if you take away all the LinkedIn crap and if you take away the external stuff, who is this man sitting across from me?
Man, I think the best way I can go ahead and sum myself up is I'm an athlete and I'm an entertainer. I've always been involved in athletics throughout my entire life, and it's always encompassed everything that I do. And the thing is about it is without that framework that basically has been with me since I was a child, fitness, always being somewhere involved inside of the gym, every day after school, going and being involved with wrestling, being involved in judo, being involved in mixed martial arts. I've done that like almost every day since like I was like 12. And so it's like one of those ordeals where it just becomes you and it consumes you. But it's all the things that it brings you to, and it's all the attributes that it teaches you along the course of life. And so athlete, entertainer, I love entertaining. I embrace comedy. I embrace communication. I embrace the art of film. And so like it's like one of those ordeals. Once I get into these things, I've always been fascinated by getting on stage. I've always been fascinated by public speaking. I've always been fascinated by movies. Have to go ahead and how to become something, become somebody different than who you are, just for like a short time frame. That's always just been fascinating to me. So I think athlete entertainer would basically encompass who Darion Terry is.
Are you a comedian?
Dude, I'm an inspiring comedian. We'll say
You're an
that.
aspiring
I'm an inspiring comedian. Yeah, I do
Okay.
skits. If you guys could check out my Instagram, I got a little bit of my framework on there.
Yep.
I got a little of my framework on TikTok. I just do just a little 30-second skits that I go ahead and I just throw in, and it's like one of those sort of deals where it's what's crazy about it. I think it's just like I said, like that whole becoming something new, putting a pen to paper, writing out a skit, or just doing like an improv thing and basically just improving it online. I think that's cool.
Well, you are stepping into what I think is one of the most terrifying arenas that
yeah.
there is. I mean, the pressure of getting up on a stage and trying to make this group of anywhere from 10 to 300 people all laugh.
Oh man.
Is oh my God, the pressure. It's got to be insane.
Yeah.
I've had a couple people tell me I should go do an open mic night, and I'm just like, no.
Yeah, right.
I'm good.
Yeah, it's challenging. It's challenging to go ahead and even think about that shit. You know what I'm saying? I think the best thing to do is not to think about that shit. You know, I just got done doing improv. So I do improv downtown a lot. Code Town. There's a couple different theaters that you can go ahead and do it at. But what's so cool about it is that, okay, we just had a little showcase. And like when you do your little showcase at the end, you know, there's like, you know, anywhere from like 50 to like 150 people inside the audience. And what's crazy about improv is that you don't even know like what the fuck is going to happen. You don't know what you're going to say, what people are going to say to you, and you're just forced to just have it flow from you, and hopefully they laugh. And so you don't know exactly what's going to happen. And so I think that's something to embrace, you know, and comedy is something to embrace. You're talking about you're in there and all these people are just watching you, waiting on you to deliver, you know, like, yeah.
Yeah. Have you heard of a banana phone that the Creek in the Cave does on Sunday nights?
Oh yeah. That's hilarious. I've been to one.
That's got to be, that is a character builder right there. So for the audience, if you don't know what it is, the comedian gets 1 minute uninterrupted to say their bit. And then it opens up to the crowd to roast them for like 5 to 8 minutes. I'm just like, dude, this has got. And I've seen a few comedians get up there, and it's only happened once or twice, and they freeze. They'll get up there and say, "Hey, everyone, my name's David." And then they just stop, and you're like, no, I'm rooting for Ryan. Like, say anything. Give us a joke. Give us the worst joke you got, but start talking.
Don't
say
do this.
Something.
Yeah, that could just ruin your night. It could just ruin your fucking night. So that's the crazy thing about it. Like the last time I did open mic, you know, they do it where you go there and they just draw your name out of a hat. Yeah, I did that at that one. Which one that you said they did that?
Creek in the Cave.
Creek in the Cave, yeah. Yep. And so they just drew the names out of the hat. And I remember I put my name in the hat on it. I used to do that shit all the time. They would never fucking pull my name. And so I put my name in the hat when I was just out there on a date. And it was like one of my first dates, like with the girl I'm with right now. And I was just like, yeah, they're probably not going to fucking do this today. And what was crazy is that I was the first bucket pull. I was the first bucket. Yeah. So I hadn't, used them up there. I'm polishing my lines. I'm doing all that kind of stuff like that. I didn't have anything. I just went up there. It was like off the top of my head. And I remember the first joke just went totally flat. And then all of a sudden, the second joke was totally improv. I didn't even hardly work on the shit at all. I just started talking about ducks. It's just like, hey guys, have you ever seen ducks just out there, just like by the pond? Isn't it crazy how they just roll up on humans like that? Just imagine rolling up on something that's like fucking 6 feet taller than you that wants to give you bread. And people start laughing. They're like, yeah, that is kind of crazy. Yeah. But you just never know what's going to happen inside that realm. You know, it's crazy.
Do you know if ducks drag weeds when they have a boner?
What? Drag weeds? I like this one. Okay, yeah. I would say no, but I guess it depends on how much action they got going on down there, you know?
One of my coworkers, I asked him a yes or no question, and he threw that response back at me back in 2019. And I love that sentence, and so I drop it whenever I can.
That's hilarious to me. I like that one. Yeah, that's the thing, what I'm saying, the creativity that could go ahead and come up with these jokes and stuff like that. I'm not even thinking about a duck having anything going on like that down there where they could drag something with it. Yeah, that's hilarious to me.
When I was going through your Instagram to prepare for today, there is one I don't often I don't laugh out loud at people's Instagrams very often, but this one really caught me off guard. It's from 2014, and I wonder if you'll remember it.
Yeah. What does that dude's book say again?
It says white girl problems.
White girl problems.
I snorted when I read that. I was like,
White girl problems.
Oh my God.
I was in St. Louis, bro. I was in St. Louis, and this dude was on the train, and he was fucking reading that book.
And the look on his face, everything about it looks like it was almost like you made it up, right? Like you got one of your buddies and you're like,
what the
sit
fuck?
like this, have this look on your face, here's the book. But this was a real dude that you just caught right in the subway?
Bro, just riding the subway by himself and reading that fucking book. It made no damn sense. I was like, I gotta fucking post this shit. I just took the picture, like on the low.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
Probably one of your first 10 pictures in there. I just scroll down pretty far for that one.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't laugh at this one as hard, but I was like, oh my God, you remember this van?
Free candy.
And then you just say, oh, hell nah.
Get the fuck away from that. Get the fuck away from that. Yeah, that's hilarious. Yeah, that was 2014 too. Yeah.
Where was that?
Man, that's the mean streets of St. Louis right there. That's where I was get my master's at Lindenwood University. But yeah, if you go downtown St. Louis, man, you see some crazy shit. yeah, you're just going out and about and stuff like that. Yeah, there's some wild shit out there. That's the wild west.
Where's home for you? Were you born in Austin or were you born somewhere else?
Kansas. Home is Kansas for me. Now, here's the crazy thing about it. Like, I was actually born in Chicago. I was born in Chicago, Illinois, and it was basically my mom and my dad. They lived there. We lived in this suburb. I was born in this place called Harvey, Illinois, which is a little suburb of Chicago. Real hood, like it's like going down like that. When my mom and dad got a divorce when I was like 4, she met my dad now, who I consider to be my father now. And she basically, we moved with him. So he worked for the railroad. He worked for Santa Fe Railroad, and they move around a lot. And so we ended up moving literally from Chicago. We moved to San Bernardino, California. And we were living there for about 5 or 6 years. And then, dude, that was just quite an experience because like we really just went from seeing like fucking Navy Pier and like all kinds of like great food, all kinds of crazy stuff in like the middle of Chicago. All of a sudden you're just like, boom, you're by oceans and mountains and everything. And so as a little kid, it was just like breathtaking. And then from there, we ended up, he moved for the last time, he got transferred the last time to Topeka, Kansas. And like literally that's where like I grew up from like 12 and on. And that's when I started getting into wrestling like hardcore. And so, yeah.
Do you know your biological father?
Oh, yeah, I do know him. I do know. Yeah. So he just wasn't really in our lives a lot. Yeah. So, yeah, we'll just put it that way. But he, I would say this. So we would go back. So for that first 4 years, obviously we were there with him. And then after that, she, they get a divorce. That divorce kind of crushes him a little bit. I would definitely say that. She remarries. We would go back to visit over the summer and visit, like him and like my dad's side of the family. So all that's going down, and I'm just seeing him, and like it literally looked like he just could not move on, but he kind of just didn't really embrace us anymore as like his own, as his children. And so it's like one of those ordeals. That's why I said like the guy that my mom remarried, like that really is my father. Like OC really is my father to me. So yeah, but at the same time though, I mean, hey, no love lost, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I just didn't really get to embrace him, and he missed that opportunity to be a father to us. And so it's just one of those ordeals where he kind of just steered clear of it and just, oh yeah, I'll be there. He came to like our high school graduation. He came to my sister's and I's high school graduations. He came to her college graduation, stuff like that. But he really wasn't in the picture. So,
Gotcha.
Yeah, we'll just say that.
And you mentioned A sister. Was there two of you, or how many siblings?
Yeah,
do you
just
have?
me and my sister. Yeah. My sister Tina. She's actually a news reporter.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. Which is crazy, right? Yeah, she's in Charlotte, North Carolina. She's been doing that. She graduated from KU, University of Kansas, and she became a news reporter / anchor. And she's just been doing that. And she's up in Charlotte, North Carolina, doing all that stuff now. So she's doing pretty well at it, man. She's on TV almost every day.
That's awesome. I tried to get a couple of news people on from the Austin area, and so far none of them have responded to me. But I think it'd be cool to, excuse me, interview someone in that space and whatnot. But are aside from the geographical difference of you being in Austin and Tina being in North Carolina, are you guys pretty close?
I would say so. Yeah, about as close. We could be closer. But we're probably closer than what we have been. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I love my sister. She loves me. And like, I think we're thicker. We have this thick, strong bond with each other. And I think we love each other. We're there for each other, but we also give each other our space.
Yeah.
And I think that's really what helps us to be able to coexist when we actually come together. And so, my sister, she's fun. She's fun, and she'll let you have it if you get in her way. And so that's what I love about her too. But it's like one of those deals, like, oh no, like don't get her angry. Yeah. She's a sweetheart though.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What was growing up like for you guys?
Man, it was fun, man. It was turbulent. It was wild. So in my household, my mom was just kind of like, she was a real great woman, very strong woman, that you didn't want to mess with. And, she brought so many great principles to our lives. Hardworking, how to be dedicated, how to be committed to a craft. Like my mom was like a teacher, and she just loved kids, and so she would just embrace children like all of her life. And so she really nurtured us. She was always there for us when we needed her, and she taught us a lot. It wasn't like I'm not gonna act like we had like some kind of crazy ass upbringing where like they were just like beating us or something or doing something crazy, I had it so hard. Like, no, my mom was great. And, but she would discipline us. She would definitely discipline us when we needed it. And then my dad, he was like more of, like my mom's kind of a firecracker, you know what I'm saying? Like she'll just go off and just like, look here, my buck, well, my dad was more like straight edge and stuff. And so my dad's like more like the cool, calm, collective guy. And I would always like he was like the word of wisdom inside the household. So he's just like, oh, okay, so you want to do that? Okay, well, that's cool. I could let you know how to get into that. And so, he was just like the cool guy, but my mom was just like this firecracker. She just burst on you.
Almost like the whole opposite attracts notion. They sort of
really
balanced
is.
each other out in a way.
Oh, super.
He probably was super excited to be around people like her because maybe she drew some of that energy out of him.
Yeah.
She probably gravitated towards him because maybe he calmed her down a little bit.
Yeah.
And so it was a really good match.
Yeah, it's definitely a yin-yang effect.
Yeah.
Absolutely. My dad is the most cool, calm, collective dude that I know. Into the blues, plays the blues. Like he's come out with his own blues albums and stuff like that. And my mom, she, like I said, she's just like a firecracker, man. She has a really driven, strong personality, and she's gonna let you know like how she is. She's very strongly opinionated, and don't get in her way either. Just like my sister, they'll let you know. They'll let you know real quick. Yeah, and so I think, but like I say, you'll learn a lot of things from it all. And I think I'm a good blend of my mom and my dad, and I got some good morals from it.
I was just going to say, I feel like even though we've only been sitting with each other for 10, 20, 30 minutes, however long it's been, I feel like you might be a little bit more like your mom.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I would definitely say that more like that. I think I get the chill or the wisdom from my dad, but my mom, I got the firecracker from my mom. Yeah, she's kind of wild.
Yeah. And we were talking about this before we hit record on everything, but you weren't raised with any kind of religion or anything, right? Or did religion play a role in your household growing up?
Yes, my mom. So I'm a Christian, and so my mom was basically Christian. And you know what? She came from like really hardcore Christians that I don't even know like are Christians. There was like Jehovah's Witnesses, those people that knock on your door.
Yeah.
Yeah, like knock your door down and stuff like that, and they got those little magazine in your hands, just like, hey, it's coming, right? The end. And you got to be there. So are you going to be there, or are you going to be somewhere else, like hotter? And so it was like, whoa. So she came from all of that, like, because our grandparents were like hardcore Jehovah's Witnesses. And so, like, she never really like pushed that upon us, but we would go when when we were there visiting our grandparents, like, and when you're in a black family, they call it Big Ma and Big Daddy. Like they would just be all about this whole Jehovah's Witness stuff. And, you couldn't tell them any differently, that this is kind of a weird thing that you guys got going on. It's kind of different for Christianity, but for them, they still, Jehovah's Witnesses, they still believe, in, the Trinity and all those things. They just believe in different things with the whole ordeal. I don't even think they actually believe in hell, all that stuff, and just different. They just have different philosophies. Like I said, they'll knock your door down. They go by this whole watchtower thing. But growing up, like, my mom would like be the enforcer when it came to Christianity inside the household. She just, like if we get out of line like that's when it would come out the hardest, just like, oh, so you're going to disrespect me today? You're going to disrespect me today? So you're going to think you could just get away with that because you're not really being pleasing to God right now, are you? What do you say? Yeah. You're supposed to love your mother. You're supposed to respect her. Don't you know that? Oh, okay. I got, yeah. You need to do that, Darion. You need to do that. Yeah. And so she was always like the enforcer when it came. She'd push it on you, say, put you in line real quick. Yeah. You know the commandments. You know what one of them says. Obey your mother. And that's what you'll be doing tonight. So I'm going to need you home by 9:30.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was like that. My dad really, like, he was like nonchalant growing up with all that stuff. But my mom, she was like the enforcer in the household. Yeah.
Were you a pretty good kid, being the fact that, I was going to say, she doesn't seem like the kind of person you'd want to piss off or disrespect.
No. I had to be a good kid. Or my mom would find us. Literally find us. My mom literally came to homecoming one time. She came to the homecoming dance just to find us, just to find me. And literally was like camped outside of it. It was kind of real. It was kind of weird. I was just like, what are you doing here? Just like, oh yeah, I just wanted to go and check out the scene. It's like, check out the scene. I told you I was going to be home at night. There's I just want to check out the scene. It's like, it's at the high school. Yeah, I know. Just making sure.
Making sure no one snuck in any drinks or cigarettes or any of the other substances we try to keep our youngins away from.
Yeah. Literally, she was like a creeper. Like, don't try to get away with nothing around my mom. She's gonna find out. Yeah, she's gonna find you, and you don't want her to. Like, you'll just get horribly embarrassed in front of your friends and your loved ones. Don't let that happen. Yeah.
What was did your mom or either of your parents, did they have any rules where it was like, okay, if you break this one, we'll forgive you. If you break this one, you'll get in trouble, but no big deal. Were there any rules where it was like, you do not fuck with these? Like, these are the ones that you will never, ever break. Did you guys have anything like that in your home?
Yeah. It's really just like, you better be back by the time we say that you're going to be back at, or I'm going to find your ass. And when I find you, I will embarrass the fuck out of you in front of your friends. That's really what it was. And so, like, really, there was no staying out late. We literally got back in time. And if we did, we had hell to pay. There was going to be a social embarrassment. My mom made sure she found out. She was one of those moms that, like, if you say you're doing a sleepover, you're going, oh, yeah, I'm just going to be over my buddy Phil's. It's just like, okay, I'm going to need his parents' numbers. I'm going to need his mom's number. So his mom, I'm going to need to talk to his mom. I want to make sure that you're doing okay over there, that everything's fine in that household. Before you go over there, I don't know if that's a crack house that you're going to over there. I don't know what they're doing over there. Maybe they're going ahead and running drugs in and out of the house. I'm going to need to talk to his mom. Then we could think about staying the night. We'll go from there. So, yeah. It's on you now. The ball's in your court. So I'm going to need your number if you want to proceed with this.
Yeah. How do you think your mom became the way she is?
Oh, because my mom grew up in a very violent fucking neighborhood. Yeah, she grew up in Gary, Indiana. She actually went... Crazy fact. My mom went to the same church that the Jackson 5 went to in Gary, Indiana. Yeah, she was inside of that same area. Yeah. And she literally went to church with like Michael Jackson and all of them. And she would just see them. They would just be sitting on the other side and stuff like that. She's like, yeah, I remember MJ. I remember little Michael. Yeah, you know, like they would go to the same church as us, everything. And so, but in Gary, Indiana, is just like a city where you could die for nothing. Like you could just be outside, just get hit with a stray. Gangs, gang activities. It's really, really wild over there. And it still is wild, like to this day. Like it was like a big steel mill craze, I think, that went down in that day. And then everything just left. Like basically all those steel mills just like left that city. And so it became extremely impoverished, and then basically it was just who was left there, and so it just became a city of like thievery and murder. So it's crazy.
Yeah, I had a buddy who used to live in Chicago that lives here in Austin now, and the reason he left is because he was at a deli one day, just grabbing a sandwich, some chips, a cookie, a soda, and on his way out, he saw someone got shot and killed, and he was like, "I'm out of here,
dude."
And he found Austin.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
I think
exactly.
He's a little happier here.
Yeah. When people talk about crime in Austin, I'm like, dude, you this is nothing.
Austin's very peaceful.
Yeah, super peaceful area compared to what I've seen. Yeah.
So now that you're an adult and you seem like you're relatively successful, at least on paper, from when I was looking you up and whatnot, what's your and your mom's relationship like today?
Oh, we have a great relationship with each other. My mom, I need to talk to her. I need to call her more. I'm like one of those people that like it's like, all right, I'll call my mom soon. But my mom, she will fucking hit me up. My mom calls me almost every day still to this day.
That's
you know what I'm saying? Yeah. She just now got to the point where now she's just calling me like every 2 or 3 days. Yeah. But yeah, we have a great relationship with each other. We talk. We'll talk for like 30, 35 minutes, talk about everything. My mom loves talking about politics, loves talking about food, talks about crazy stuff. Yeah, she's a real cool person.
Dude, that's cool that you guys call each other. I called my mom on Mother's Day, and I knew she wasn't going to pick up. And so I left a voicemail, and I thought, maybe she'll actually call me back this time. She didn't. She's just one of those kind of people. She hates talking on the phone. So
wow.
I know she appreciates it. But if she ever picks up, I'm definitely going to think something's wrong. Yeah, are you okay? What's going on? You picked up your phone? What?
Does she text?
She's a better texter.
Oh, okay,
she's a great texter.
Okay,
and sometimes she'll even text me after, like, while I'm leaving the voicemail, and she'll say something like, "Is everything okay?" And I say, "Yeah, just calling to say hi." And she'll say it again. She'll say, "But nothing's wrong." And I'll say, "No, I'm just calling to say hi." Like,
dude, I want your mom.
I miss you.
My mom's like the total opposite of that. My mom calls me 7 times, and then until I pick up the phone, "What's going on?" Nothing much. Yeah, did you see that show? Mom, you just called me 7 times in a row. I thought the house was burning down. No. What are you doing over there?
Maybe I'll start doing that to my mom. I'll just keep calling her back until she finally picks up, and then I'll just have nothing to talk about. I'll just calling to say hi.
Just annoy the fuck out of her until she actually picks up the phone.
Just calling to bug you. Calling to see how your new lawnmower's doing that she bought herself for Mother's Day. You know?
Oh man, yeah. And see, that's the thing. It's like we need to. My mom, your mom. We need to switch roles. Yeah, I want your mom for a fucking day or a week.
And I want to talk to your mom. She sounds like a very interesting person. I'd be curious what we'd end up talking about. We might talk about you a little bit.
Oh, dude,
talk about Tina. Talk about everything.
Yeah, we could do a Freaky Friday.
Yeah. Fair enough. California.
Yeah.
What you moved out there for work? Or not you, but your dad got a job, or was that work related, or how'd you guys land in California?
Yeah. So my dad, he works for the Santa Fe Railroad, worked for he just retired not so long ago, but he literally worked there for like 40 years or something like that. But they move around a bunch. He was stationed, so basically started off in Illinois. We're in Chicago. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, boom! It's just like, hey, we're moving. We're going to San Bernardino, and this is where you're going to go and be stationed. That we just basically picked up with him, and left. But San Bernardino is extremely fun place to be as a little kid because, okay, we would go to Disneyland. And Disneyland was only like an hour and a half, 2 hours away from San Bernardino. And so we go to Disneyland a lot, and we go to Universal Studios a lot, which is super cool. Yeah. And so those type of things, obviously the beach was around there, the mountains, all that stuff. And so, California, was pretty fun. You know, you wouldn't probably want to live there now because gas prices and everything is extreme. But yeah, growing up, yeah, it was a fun time.
Yeah, gas prices there are insane. I remember just moving to Texas and fueling up my car for the first time once I had crossed into the state, got a full tank for a third of the price. I was like, oh, baby, I like this place. This is awesome.
Well, and you had moved out here in 2020. You were living there until 2022?
Yep.
What was gas in 2022 there?
$6-7.
Yeah.
A gallon.
Yeah, that's insane to me.
Yeah, one of my buddies drives. He has 2 Jeeps and a truck, I think. I was like, dude, you know how much money you would save by just moving out here to Austin with me? Like,
bro, that's why everyone's doing it.
Rich man.
That's why everyone's doing it. Yeah, business is everything, man. Yeah, I can understand Elon.
Yeah. I have a picture of one of your potentially early influences that I got off your Instagram. Who's this guy?
Oh my gosh! Wait a minute. Oh, you know what's crazy? You know what's crazy? I don't actually know that guy. I don't. But what I do know is that physique right there was fucking goals to me. And so I was just like, hey, yeah, that's goals. Yeah, I want to fucking look just like that. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I mean, when you're talking about how ripped this fool looks inside of this cut off, and like, you know, I mean, obviously I'm really in the MMA, I'm really in the combat, and he just looks the fucking part. He's wearing fucking 4-ounce gloves and he's just like, hey, come and get me, baby. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, when you grow up watching, like, I don't know who this guy is either. And for those listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, all these pictures we're referencing, they'll be on the YouTube version. But when you're growing up and you're watching guys like that just save the world, defeat the bad guy, how could you not gravitate towards the gym? You know,
dude, you have to. You have to.
I want to be big. I want to go work. I want to look at least a little bit like that.
Yeah, exactly. Strong, I'm more ripped. Yeah, you know, you look at that, man, it's like just fucking goals. You know, when you look, you know, it's like I have to actually get like this, you know, and so it's just like one of those ordeals. And I think I just saw that picture online. It just inspired me. And yeah, man, it's kind of like looking like some Goku type shit. Yeah.
Yeah. And you said you were 12 when you started wrestling, or how old were you?
Yeah. I was probably I was 12 years old when I started wrestling, and it was one of those ordeals, man. I actually just went out. Everybody kind of just went out. I was in 7th grade, and like everybody was just like, yeah, we're just gonna go out, and it didn't pan out for a lot of kids. It didn't pan out for a lot of kids. A lot of kids ended up going and doing something else. A lot of my friends and stuff like that. But I just stuck with it. It just seemed like the path for me. You know, I remember like going out for other sports and not excelling right away. Like when I was in 7th grade, I was little. You know, I was only like 104 pounds in like 7th grade. And so other kids were like bigger than me and like better at football, and I was not there yet. And so, but when I went out for wrestling, like it was just like putting a fish in the water. I was just like taking people down and just pinning them and just controlling them and shit. And I was just like, oh no, I'm gonna keep this going. I'm gonna keep this going. Yeah, this is good. Yeah.
So you were naturally pretty good at it, even when you started, more so than what other sports did you try out for? Do you remember?
Yeah, obviously football, wrestling, track. And let me see, you know, being little, yeah, football, wrestling, track and field, I tried pole vaulting. I did a whole bunch of shit. Wrestling just seemed like the one. Yeah, it was just like the one that it was the breakout sport for me. It was the one that I excelled in the most.
And wrestling it's a hell of a workout.
Oh my gosh,
I never did it officially, but when at the school I grew up, went to high school at, the way they would run PE was you would do football for a month and then soccer for a month. And so you went through all the different sports and got a feel for everything in a year. And whenever we did the month of wrestling, dude, I was gassed.
Yeah.
More so than any other sport.
Oh
Soccer was maybe a close second because of how much running you're doing. But even then, you're just using your legs for the most part. With wrestling, you're using your entire body. You're out of breath. Oh my God.
Oh, yeah. It'll make a man out of you.
Yes, it
Make
will.
a man out of you real quick. Put some hair on your chest real quick.
Yes.
You'll know exactly where you fit in society after you've wrestled. You know exactly how to handle yourself, you know, inside of situations when you're going up against people. Like, now I know even more because of wrestling and because of jiu-jitsu, because like in wrestling you stick to your weight class, and so like if you're like at 160, you wrestle everybody that's 160 pounds. But in jiu-jitsu, like you could go absolute, so you could hop in these absolute weight classes and go against like a super heavyweight or go against somebody in unlimited, and it's like just called absolutes, and so that's a real fucking test of skill. And so you'll just get to see this, but it's all full body. It's using everything of yourself to be able to go ahead and actually defeat an opponent. And so it's just like it's the ultimate battle. It's the ultimate skill set.
Yeah. There's this lanky dude. He's my age, but when I was 19, there's this guy at my church named Mark Crane, who I was probably 190 pounds at the time. He's probably $140. Everyone was over at the house. We were playing Halo, just hanging out. And he challenged me to a wrestling match. And I was thinking, like, I will pin this kid in a second. He's so small. Dude, I probably wrestled Mark 10 times over the next couple months. And I always wanted to beat him. And because he actually knew what he was doing, he got me every time. Yeah. Unbelievable. I was so mad at the end of every match. I'm like, how is this tiny little person who's never seen the inside of a gym beat me again? This is ridiculous.
And that's the thing. They just know technique. It's about the techniques, baby. And they'll put that shit on you. They'll put you in a fucking chicken wing. You don't even know what's going on.
Yeah, that's what Mark did.
Yeah. And so it's like one of those deals, and even though there's people just go, you could just hem up a big dude. You just hem him up if you just know what the fuck you're doing. And a lot of people, it puts people in perspective, and it'll keep you true, because a lot of people, they think they could fight until they get against people that actually know what they're doing, and then they realize real quick, like, oh wait, this motherfucker, he's not playing around. Yeah, he's gonna put me in a fucking chicken wing and behind the back leg lock, and I'm done.
Yeah. So once you discovered you were good at wrestling, did you see your confidence start to change or evolve in either a healthy way or even in like an egotistical way? Not to put you on the spot, but did you see your confidence change once? Because not only was it a revelation of like, oh, here's something I'm really good at, but the thing you're good at is beating other dudes. And what did that do to your personality when you first started wrestling? Do you recall?
Yeah, well, it's not something that it changed me, but it's something that it helped me. It boosted my confidence to know that I could be able to handle my own if I had to in an actual real life fight. And so like it's one of those ordeals where, it went from the unknown to the known, because in the known, now I knew, like, if somebody came and started trying to pick on me, like, I would be able to handle that situation pretty easily. And so it's like one of those ordeals where you don't back down from bullies anymore, and you don't back down from crazy situations. But I always was like, tried to be a good person, so I didn't just like let me knowing techniques get to my head, where I'm like looking at people, what, like. Yeah, it never got like that, What? I was just, what are you doing? Nothing. It never got like that. Yeah, I've always like tried to like be that humble dude. Yeah, I don't want to be like that guy, like just egotistical and shit.
Yeah. Dude, I just like 10 days ago, I'm working out at a Gold's Gym with my buddy Mikey, who's probably 185 pounds, 6'2" or 6'3". He's a tall guy, and we're working out, minding our own business. We're both like, especially in the gym, like pretty kind, respectful dudes. And this guy walks up to Mikey and says, "Why don't you go back to Planet Fitness, you little 100-pound bitch?" And at first I thought it was one of his buddies, because I'm like, that's something I would say to one of my guys, right? I'd be like, get the fuck out of here, you tiny, And so at first I thought maybe this is one of his buddies. He's like about to introduce us or something. And I could tell, I looked at Mikey and I could tell by the look on his face, I was like, oh, he has no idea who the heck this guy is.
Wow.
And so the guy just starts picking him apart, and he's like, you ever train legs? You look like you don't even know what a squat is. Why don't you go back to Planet Fitness? He kept saying that same line over and over again, and it was one of those wild things, because to your point, who actually goes around just like picking on people?
Yeah, just trying to punk people.
This dude, if I had to guess, was probably like 40 years old. So I'm like, dude, what is wrong with you? Like,
This is
what,
weird.
did your partner just break up with you last night? Did you get
Bro.
fired from your job? Like, what is going on in your world?
Yeah.
Where you're just walking up to dudes who have 40 pounds on you, inches taller than you, and you're just punking them for no reason at all?
Bro, just crashing out. He's just fucking crashing out. Dude, his wife just left him, dude, with 3 kids or some shit like that. Motherfucker was gone. Yeah. He went to the gym to blow off some steam and saw a little guy and just tried to let it into him. Yeah.
It was wild. I've been working out in gyms for 20 years, and I thought I had seen it all.
Wow.
I've seen people, shit where they shouldn't be shitting. I've seen people piss on saunas. I've seen people. I wasn't there for this one, but we had a cycle instructor who was in the middle of a class, and while he was teaching, another guy walks in the room, walks straight through all of the bikes, pulls the guy off his bike and starts beating him up in the middle of his class. Turns out the instructor was sleeping with one of the women in the audience who was that dude's wife.
Wow.
He found out, so he waited for that moment to confront the guy. So I'm thinking, like, I have seen everything there is to see in a gym,
Wow.
and then this dude entered our lives, and I'm just like, brother, what's going on?
Damn. I would have loved to seen that, dude.
The cycle thing?
Yeah, the cycle thing. Yeah, that
I
sounds
wish
awesome.
I was there for that one.
Yeah,
It was a gym I used to work at, and one of my coworkers called me. He's like, dude, you wouldn't even guess what happened to Brad in his class today.
Oh, my
like,
gosh.
What happened? What's the craziest thing that could happen in a cycle class?
Yeah. Oh, wait. I'm curious. What did your friend say back to that guy that was picking on him at Gold's? Did he say anything crazy back to him?
So at first he just sort of laughed it off, and he was like, like, whatever, dude. And then when the guy kept going, he was like, dude, I'm bigger than you. What are you talking about?
Oh, my gosh.
And then I could see he started to see red, and I could tell my friend was getting pissed. And
Yeah.
the last thing I wanted was for us to get in a fight with this, like an actual fight with this dude. So I ended up grabbing him. I was just like, dude, let's just go to the other side of the gym. This guy's not worth your time.
Yeah.
So we go to the other side of the gym. He's my buddy. He's pacing. I was like,
Bro,
breathe.
yeah.
We're not letting this dude ruin our
Yeah,
Saturday.
yeah.
Like, you got to just let it go.
Yeah.
But if I hadn't been there, who knows what would have happened? We can't predict. But
Yeah.
I'm glad I was there, because I don't know if he would have walked away or not. And it
Oh,
was
man.
escalating quick.
I would have wanted to smack that dude. Yeah, I would have. And see, that's the thing. That's why you need to have friends there. Because when people like try to punk you like that, and they try to punk you like out in the public eye, where other people can overhear it. So it even adds more fuel to the fire. And so you just want to like just walk up and just smack the dude, just like, excuse me. I think that's the best way to handle it. Sometimes just put, but you need that person, to pull you back. Like, hey man, no, that's actually that's assault.
Yeah. In this day and age, we don't need to be getting in random fights. And I'm just like, come on, dude. Like, we're not doing this right now.
Yeah.
If all the reasons we could fight, it's not going to be because this guy called you a bitch or because he called you small.
Yeah.
When you know you're not small, like, go look in the mirror.
Oh my gosh. It's like why would you even want to go to a gym to pick a fight too? Like these guys actually, like, they're testosteroned up. I don't know what that guy was thinking. That's funny.
Yeah, I haven't gone back to that gym since. It was sort of out of my way, and we went to it because it's right in the middle of both our places. But I sort of want to go back now just to see if that guy's there punking anyone else. Like, what's this guy doing?
That is wild to me, bro. Yeah. That I like. You know what's weird about me is I love seeing confrontation, and so like when I love seeing it. I love seeing like shit just about to unfold right in front of my very eyes. You know what I'm saying? I've seen like the most craziest fucking confrontations unfold right in front of my very eyes, where somebody got punked and all of a sudden it started getting beat up, gang fights, all types of shit. So it's just fun to watch for me.
Yeah. I'll tell you one more. This one's a little more frustrating, but there's an autistic guy that goes to my gym, and he can be a little awkward sometimes. Naturally, he's autistic, for crying out loud, but he's a very high functioning autistic dude. And when he wants a machine that someone's on, he'll sort of stand about 6 or 7 feet from the machine, and then he'll just stand parallel, and he'll sort of just like glance over. And he's just waiting in his mind, he's just waiting for you to move.
Yeah.
So this one guy, the guy's pretty jacked, might be taking something, and so he just is not having it. So he starts yelling at this poor guy, what the fuck are you looking at? Get the fuck out. He scared this guy so bad. The autistic dude runs out of the gym and calls the cops on him.
Oh, damn, that's wild. That's wild.
So then we just thought he left, or I did. I thought, poor guy. Like, hopefully he comes back. Like, he has every right to be here working out, just like any of us do. And maybe 5 minutes later, he comes walking back in with 2 cops. I'm like, yeah, go get him. You get that out. Get that guy out of here.
I love it, man. Justice got served, dude. That's justice being served. I love that shit.
Do you have any crazy gym stories?
Oh man, I got all kinds of crazy gym stories, man. Shit, there's so many of them. There's this one time, we were over here. Okay, this is nuts, right? So I got this crazy friend, man, and he just does crazy shit. So so I won't say his name. I was going to say his name. It was funny. All right, so in college, this dude, he went and posted pictures. Okay, so our heavyweight was dating this girl. We had a men's wrestling team and a women's wrestling team, right? And the 197 pounder, he just would fuck around with everybody. He didn't give a fuck. This dude was just wild like that. He's a cool guy. I love him to this day. Hey, he's a world champion in jiu-jitsu too. Yeah, he'll know if he watches this. But he goes and he posts pictures of the heavyweight's girlfriend around campus. He posts like pictures of her around campus and shit like that, and just puts all kinds of crazy shit on, like, oh yeah, hey, say y'all should get with this girl. I think he put her phone number on there and shit like that.
Oh my
Somehow
God.
he got her phone number and everything. Put that shit on there, and so the heavyweight finds out about it, right? And we're all up in there partying and shit. All of a sudden, fucking the heavyweight fucking breaks inside of his door, kicks his door fucking open.
Yeah.
Where you at? No. I know you fucking posted that shit. I know you posted that shit. You put it on fucking poles around the school. Let's go right now. Let's go right fucking now. And like, and what's so crazy? The 197 pounder, he's just like, all right, let's go. Yeah, I did it. Yeah, let's go. You want to handle this physically? Yeah, fuck yeah, I want to handle this physically. Fuck yeah, I want to handle this outside. Yeah, outside. No, let's go into wrestling. We're gonna go to the fucking wrestling room. And so like they're actually in a wrestling room, like handle like men, mats, so nobody gets like totally fucked up on the concrete. And what's hilarious about this situation is that they walk out cordially out of this house, and they both get inside of the same vehicle with each other. The other guy opens the door for him and stuff like, yeah, no, get in my truck. And they drive up there together to stop at lights, and they're just like talking about, yeah, so that was fucked up what you did right there. And then like the 197 was like, hey, I'm just gonna let you know, bro, you can't fight. So when we get in here, I'm just gonna end up just beating the shit out of you, right? Like, you don't have to do this. Like I could just say I'm sorry. It's like, no, fuck that. No, we're doing this. This shit's gonna happen. So and they casually just drive up to the gym, get out of the gym, they go inside the wrestling room. They're just like, all right, you really want to do this? And so we all like come in there like huddled up just to see exactly what's gonna go down.
Yep.
And then it's like, and the 97 pounder was like, okay, I'm just gonna let you know, man. I don't really want to do this. And Adam like swings at him, and he just misses, boom, just pops him. Dude just immediately our heavyweight immediately hits the ground. He was just like not as athletic as this dude, not as athletic as the 197 pounder. And then it gets back up, tries to fight him again. Boom, one punches him again, hits the ground. And so he literally just got like destroyed. And after a while, and then the heavyweight gets just like, all right, let's just call it even. It's like, all right, yeah, let's just call it even. We'll shake hands. I don't know why that story comes to mind, but like out of all the shit I've seen, but that one was like one of the funniest for me, just like how the buildup of that with posting pictures and doing all that shit, and like how it went. So it was just a funny story.
One of the guys in my gym showed me, excuse me, a video a couple weeks ago of he got in a fight with someone. I don't remember why, but bunch of people are filming it, and when the dude goes to kick him as his first move, his foot that's planted on the ground just happened to be in a puddle of mud, and so he goes to kick, and then you see both his legs just go up, falls onto the ground.
Oh man!
The guy that I know jumps on top of him. Fight was over before it even started. Damn. I'm just like, dude, lost a fight because you slipped on a puddle of mud. That is rough.
Damn, you gotta wear better shoes that day.
Yeah, maybe he wasn't expecting to get in a fight. Maybe he wasn't expecting there to be mud.
Exactly.
Who knows?
That's nuts to me. But yeah, that's the thing that could happen. There's so many obstacles, so many variables inside of a fucking fight that you just do outside with somebody. You know, like you don't even know, you don't know this person. You don't know what they're going to have in their fucking backseat or their trunk. You don't know if this person knows martial arts. You don't know anything about them. And so it's like, it's just, you would have to just be seeing red in order to like totally follow through with this, or just be like, just kind of like blindly like foolish about the whole thing, like of what you can do and how this person might not have friends or anything sort of like that. Like there's just so many variables to worry about in a street fight.
Yeah, agreed. We got a little off track, and I'm glad we did. Those were some good stories. So you're wrestling in high school. Your high school experience, before we move past that, anything crazy or anything that happened during those 4 years that you think added a lot of context to who you are now, or do you think it was a relatively run-of-the-mill high school experience?
Well, my high school, it wasn't really a big wrestling program. We didn't have like, it wasn't like very enthused at wrestling. And so basically what happened with me is that once I became acclimated and knew that I was actually going to be good at the sport, I would just put in a lot of fucking work. What we did have was a lot of resources, and our coach was very accessible, and he basically made sure that we had all the resources that we needed to be successful. You just had to put in the time. And so one thing that we got was this little dummy, this little atom. We call it, it's like an atom dummy, and it's like one of those little dummies that you could go ahead and do moves on and fucking throw it around and shit like that. So we had this big old dummy that was in there, and it was just like on the wall, or it would just be attached to the cord and just be up there like that. And we would just take it, and you could go around there and just shadow with it, drill fireman's carry, single legs, double legs, all that kind of shit with it. And this dude came in there. I remember we had a speaker that came in there and was just like, yeah, if you want to get good, if you want to get really good at wrestling, you got to do reps, you got to do repetition. And like 50 shots a day, 50 takedowns a day. Could be before or after practice. And so like, I really wanted to get fucking good. And so like my freshman year, I just started that practice. I would just start going ahead and doing like 50 to 100 takedowns on the dummy after practice. So I would stay after and just be going, boom, 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 working my stuff, working low singles, working high crotches, working sweep singles. I would just be working all of that. And I think it was just, I would put in so many deposits. I would put in so many deposits that when it came time to cash out, I was ready to cash out. And so that's why I was successful at it, because once it came to, place it in like the regional tournament to take you to the state, I was able to do that. Once it comes to, place the state tournament, able to go ahead. It was a build up for that too, because like, I remember like, my freshman year, I was only like 20 something and 13. And I missed state by one match, and that literally just burnt within me. So my sophomore year, I went 29-6, and went to state. And what was crazy about that is that I went to state, but I couldn't actually wrestle in the state tournament because I got this fucking mat herpes on me and shit like that you get. It just goes around wrestling rooms and shit like that. But it was all over me, so I couldn't pass skin checks. So I was 29-6 my sophomore year and couldn't fucking compete in the state tournament, state qualifier. So then I go my junior year, I'm 30 and fucking 1, and go to state, make it to the blood rounds, get one match away from fucking placing, and then get beat by the only guy that beat me that year, 1-0. Then my senior year was just like, I was just like fucking like, I'm gonna die trying to fucking do this. And literally, yeah, go to state, I'm like fucking, yeah, I'm like 30 and like, and like literally then go make it to the state finals, lose to the state finals. Like, dude, but it was just like all of that. That's the reason why I went to college to wrestle, because I took second in state. I was 3-time state qualifier, took second in state my senior year. In my mind, I was like, I'm not done. And I'm not done because I lost to the state finals. If I probably would have won the state finals in high school, I don't even know if I would have wrestled in college, because I've been like, okay, I won the journey, Yeah. But like it was that fire. It's like I haven't won the journey, and so like I have to continue to compete. And so I would say that was really like the whole high school experience when it came to competing for me, and losing helped shape my future. It's weird story.
Where do you think that that drive came from to do all the extra stuff that the other kids weren't doing.
Man, I just really wanted to fucking win. I think that's really what it was. The taste of winning. Once I actually my freshman year I made varsity, like my freshman year, and I remember it was my very first high school match, and right before that very first match, my dad comes over to me, and he sees me in the varsity warm-ups, and he's just like, "So you made varsity?" I was just like, "Yeah, I made varsity." He's like, "Wow, so you're actually good at this." And I was like, yeah, Dad. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I am actually good at it. So after that, you know what I'm saying, I was just like, okay. And then, you know, I put a little bit extra on my shoulder. And then I go out and then I go out against the kid. First high school wrestling match. And we're like going at it. The score was like fucking like 12-12. Then I end up like just taking this kid down and pinning him. And the roar of the audience, the roar of the crowd and the fans and my mom and my dad there. And I just felt that rush, that energy. And like after that, I was like, I got to keep winning. I got to keep fucking winning. You know, like that. I never, at 14 years old, I never felt anything like that. And it was always a rush to be able to get that every single time to get your hand raised again.
Yeah. What was it like coming down from that rush afterwards?
Man, you wanted to experience it again. Coming down from it, it was more of like in my mind of like, what do I need to do to achieve it? What do I need to do to achieve that again? And so instead of doing 50 additional takedowns on the dummy after it'd be 100 additional takedowns, I was obsessed. I got obsessed. And I started like looking up my opponents. I started doing research on them before I actually went into tournaments against them, seeing exactly what they did, what to prepare for. I just became obsessed. Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah. That's an awesome response.
It was, man. It was weird. I just became obsessed with it. Even my parents were just like, yeah, you're really into this. You know, it's just like, yeah. But I really want, and for me, it's like, okay, and now I got ranked. You know, like I got ranked as a freshman. I got ranked like 4th in state. It's like, so it's like, I'm just like, I just became obsessed with it. I was like, I have to keep doing this. I have to keep being successful at it. And so, and the same kind of thing, same type of fire, just like trickles over. And I still have that. I still have that fire. I still keep that passion with me. And but it's really, you're just chasing that. You're chasing that feeling. It's a weird thing. You're just chasing a feeling. Yeah.
Did it sort of take over your life too, in terms of like diet, sleep? Did your whole high school life sort of revolve around your wrestling?
It was bad. Yeah. Everything I fucking did revolved around what happened at 3 o'clock going into practice, 4 o'clock going into practice. And basically what I was eating inside the morning, what I was eating for breakfast, how much water intake that I was taking in on a daily basis. Was I going to get an additional workout in the morning? Anything of the sort like that. I weight managed more than half a year round. And it became a task. It became such a task. And I remember I was started getting bigger. You know, in high school, you know, you're kind of getting bigger. Mm-hmm. And so throughout the season, you know, I was like 130. I wrestled 130, for example. But throughout the season, my body just started getting bigger, and I was starting getting up to like 150 pounds, and I have to cut all this weight to go ahead and get back down to the weight class again. And then right after the tournament, I get on the scale 2 days later, and I'm like 143 pounds. I'm already 13 pounds over. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Well, I'm just getting bigger, you know? Yeah. And so it's just like a struggle to maintain that. Like, and that's the thing with like wrestling, man. There's like 2 battles. There's the battle to make weight, and there's the battle to actually win the actual tournament. And so there's the battle against your actual opponents. And so you have to win the first battle, which is the actual weight battle, which is just against you and yourself. And you have to win your battle against your opponent. So it's teaches you a lot. Teaches you a lot of character.
What was your reputation like with your classmates?
Oh, I think throughout high school, throughout college, I would say that people just kind of knew that I was a hard worker and that I was really into what I did. I would definitely say that. I think that was my reputation there. They knew that I was going to place or going to be good at this. And so like I got that type of respect like around campus. I got that type of respect from my friends, from my peers, from my teachers. They just knew that it was my identity, you know, and it was like who I was. And so like they just knew that like, oh yeah, Darion's going to be good at this.
And was there with when you were competing at other high schools, were you sort of unexpected in the sense that you mentioned the high school did not have a big wrestling program. So was it sort of like, this guy's coming from where?
Yeah, it was like that, man. It was like that. Yeah, Topeka West High School is not known for wrestling, and so like it was like one of those deals. All of a sudden, like you get good at it. Like they're like, who is this kid? But I could still see in my mind like the big coaches from the bigger programs, Manhattan's, Emporia's, basically they would we go to these tournaments and they would see how good I was, and they would actually come up and just give me pointers sometimes, It's just like, hey, you could do, if you did this, you just relied on your speed, you would just be killing all these kids, and I would just be like, damn, saying these guys they're just fucking watching me, and so that's the thing, when you take it upon yourself to just work fucking hard and go towards your goals, like it could be inspiring to others. It'll attract others. It'll attract other people to you that can give you tips, give you more tricks, and so I think that's really what was happening.
Yeah. And then after high school, did you want to go to college, or did you want to go to college because you wanted to keep wrestling?
I really wanted to go to college to wrestle. Yeah, like I said, like the journey that I didn't even think about it in that kind of case format of like actual in institutional school where I could just go just to get good grades and then get a job. Like I was just like, okay, where am I gonna go wrestle at? And then basically, like it was kind of fucked up because like academics came second. I was like, I was just more thinking about
honest about it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like, okay, where am I wrestling at? Yeah, but we'll get to the school shit. Yeah, so it was just like that. But for real, I mean, I think if you use it in that capacity, then you could use it to basically get better grades because you want to compete in that extracurricular activity. And so I remember they gave a stat like the kids that actually competed extracurricular activities were actually more apt to be able to stay on the honor roll, to get the 3.0s, to get the 4.0s, because they wanted to go ahead and be academic All-Americans as well, and they wanted to go ahead and actually make sure that they could compete, stay on the field, stay on the mat, and be in competition. And so yeah, it's a driver.
Were you a good student? Did most of the courses come easy to you, or did you struggle in that department?
I was a good student. I would definitely say I was a good student. There are definitely courses that I excelled in, and there are courses that I struggled with and needed help with. One was fucking algebra, college algebra, statistics, all that shit. Yeah, so like I needed tutors on that one. But English came really easy to me. Courses like biology, because I was like actually in like the study of life, and like wells, all this shit, And so there's certain things that you like naturally are attracted to and shit like that.
Yep.
But then there's other things just like, what the fuck is X? Where am I gonna find that? Why would I ever use this shit? And I'm just like spazzing out over this shit. But the thing is about it, it's like I said, you want to stay eligible, right? To compete. And so you find what you need to be able to do that. So I would get tutors, I'd get people to help me, and you get through it.
Dude, math was the bane of my existence throughout high school and college. My college professor for 2 years, I think her name was Joy Fusion, and I was in that professor's office more than any other 3 professors combined because it was just lost on me. Like you said, I was like, what the hell is X? Why are we trying to solve for it? Who cares if we solve for it?
When am I using this?
Yeah.
Never.
It was terrible. But every Pie Day, which I believe is March 14th.
Oh,
right?
wow, yeah.
She would bring pie in for the entire class.
Oh,
and she wore a little shirt that said, I love pie.
That's an incentive.
You're a nerd, but that's fine. I'll take my slice of pie. Thank you.
Yeah.
She was funny.
That's awesome.
How do you contend with losing?
I think the best thing to do is fucking take it all in. I think you need to digest it. I think you need to go ahead and take a breather and see exactly where you fucked up, where you went wrong, and be able to go ahead and use that as a catalyst to be able to go ahead and boost you in the victory. Failure is an option of what you want to do moving forward. Do you want to continue to go ahead and be this, or do you want to go ahead and use this as a jumping point and say, okay, that dude did fuck me up, but how am I going to get better because of it? What did he hit me with? How did I lose this match? How did I lose this fight? What can I do better next time? And I think that's just the best way to go ahead and look at it, because you don't want, it's like a bad taste in your mouth. You want to go ahead and get it out as soon as possible. And I think the best thing to do is just become addicted to winning. because then you don't want that fucking sour taste no more. You know, fuck losing. You know, you can't have it. You can't have it about you. You can't have it on you. You know, it's just like something you got to shake off. Yeah.
Yeah. What is it? I meant to ask earlier. You mentioned it very quickly. What is mat herpes? Is that
Mad
what you called
herpes.
it?
Yeah, man. Okay, so mad herpes is it's called herpes gladiatorium. It's like I think they call it because it's like a gladiator thing where people that would fucking roll around with each other would get. But it's like this little outbreak that could just break out on like a certain area of your skin. It could just be like a small patch, and usually it gets cleared up with some fucking like some steroid that you rub on there or that you take inside of a pill form. But that shit sucks, man. You get it, and it's so itchy and stuff like that. It dries out your skin, and sometimes it could like break open and shit. And so it was just like nasty. Yeah, it was weird. And like I said, I got that like my sophomore year in high school and stuff like that. And then they do skin checks, you know, when you go into like big tournaments. And so I didn't pass like the skin check, and so it was like one of those deals like, no, yeah, crazy shit.
Yeah, never heard of that before, but yeah. Ew.
Yeah.
Was there ever a loss, maybe not even wrestling specific, but have you ever had a moment in your life where you lost at something and it rocked you a little bit harder? And what was that situation, and how did you bounce back from that one, and why do you think that one in particular was jarring for you?
Oh, yeah, man. There's been a lot. There's been a couple different losses that occurred of course in my career, but in wrestling, losing in the state finals, man, it hurt a lot. Like basically, like I said, I was like 30 and like 1 going into that. And so like that fucking hurt. And it was really like one of those deals where your whole, you know, you're talking about when you're in high school, you're like 14 through 18, and you're a kid with like this little fever dream of like fucking winning something. And then somebody else gets that over you. And you don't even, and you know, in my mind, I'm like, this person didn't even fucking put in the work to go ahead and get to where I am right now. There's no way that they should be going ahead and having this feeling that I can't have, you know. And it's like one of those weird deals. And it's like the end too. So it's like your senior year, and so you can't go back and fucking do it again. So it's like one of those deals. College, losing in the semifinals, my senior year, that fucking hurt. So it's like one of those deals, you know. It's just like where you gotta. You know, and the thing is about it, when you take those, I remember like losing my senior year in college, and it just fucking hurt. It stung. You know, I lost to the eventual national champion, but it's like one of those deals where I handled it a lot better, you know, as an adult, you know, as a 22-year-old adult. But it's like one of those deals like, fuck, you know, what am I gonna do here? You know, but it's like it helped me bounce back and go back through the tournament and end up placing third. And so it's like one of those deals where you still have to. It helps you. I was able to digest it better and come back and do better because of it. And so I think the best thing to do is just take the L, man. Just got to take the L.
I believe it was in 2018. I didn't mark the year, but December 18th, potentially in 2018, you became a world champion in the blue belt division.
Yes.
What did that moment mean to you?
Man, I think it was more of like, I was at Brazilian top team at the time, and I remember coming inside of there, and it was like more of me just focusing on just jiu-jitsu, and instead of focusing on different other arts. And I was just like, man, let me see how good I could fucking be at this. And I remember like the professor at the time, he was just like, he was a Brazilian dude. He was just like, I remember rolling around with him, and it was as soon as I started rolling around with him, he's just like, your jiu-jitsu high level. You're very good. Yes, you know, like he could just tell it. So he's just like, no, you go to world and you become champion. You're going to become champion, and then we make you double champion. Then you go absolutes. And I was just like, oh, you talk about like against like all the weight classes, yes, and then you become absolutes. And so I was like, fuck it, let's try it. Let's just do it. Let's see what happens. And so, but the feeling, I remember the feeling afterwards. You know, after you accomplish that, it's just like, man, fuck, I've been waiting on this. Yeah. You know, I've been waiting for this feeling for so long. You know, we had talked about, you know, me becoming runner-up, me go ahead taking third in the country, all that stuff like that. But to be number one, to be the best, is just that's surreal. That's a surreal fucking feeling. And you talk about chasing a feeling, you know, saying that's why you have to come back and do it again at purple. That's why you come back and do it again at brown. You know, and so it's just one of those ordeals. It's you're just chasing a feeling. that's going to get you to where you're on top of the heap again.
So after that moment, you know, I was trying to quickly think like what would be my like ultimate goal where I felt like it was the equivalent of winning world champion. I don't know what it is. I'd have to think about it. It'd probably be something related to the podcast, like a million listeners, or I don't know, something like that. Once you hit that mark, how do you keep yourself going? Because you just became world champion. Like you like you said, you're number one. Where do you go next? How do you pivot from something like that?
You gotta understand exactly what this is, what you have, and you got to understand that basically that your calling is still there. Your calling is not done, and that you can go ahead and achieve more because of it. You could be a multiple-time world champion. You could be a multiple-time world champion and basically have medals all around your fucking house. You could be a multiple world champion, open up your own gyms. You could use this as an expansion point to go ahead and go into more. And so, like in my mind, I was just like, let's see where it takes me. Let's see where this path is going to go ahead and take me. And so it wasn't ever like, all right, I did it, I could walk away. It was more like, I did it, let's do it again. Let's see how it is to do this again. Can this happen again? Can I achieve this at a higher level? Can I achieve this at purple? Can I achieve this at brown? And so it was always just like you're just chasing the little dragon around, man. Seeing if you could fucking drag his tail again, you know? It's crazy like that.
What's your current objective in life?
Man, I got a couple big objectives, big goals. One is, in my mind, I have I have a little mantra that I say to myself. Inside of that mantra, one is to being able to be like an ultimate business leader. And I think an ultimate business leader, for me, means that I move up the corporate ladder as quick as possible. Right now I'm in management within my corporation. But moving up the corporate level as quick as possible, being able to go ahead and make as much money as possible for my family and for my family to come. And another one of my goals is mine is to be a multiple world champion and own my own gyms. I've done the multiple world champion thing, but I want to own my own gyms as well. And I think that's one of the next steps that's going to go and be coming down the road as well. And then other goals for myself, I really do want to see myself more inside of the entertainment spectrum. I want to be able to go ahead and grow my social media following there with skits, also with comedy itself. Basically be able to go ahead and take that, start doing more open mics, being able to go ahead and do more stand-up, and basically just be known on that sector. And those are some of the goals, some of the things that I repeat to myself on a daily basis, and just try to go ahead and take steps towards that on a daily basis. Yeah.
What do you seem like a pretty disciplined dude. You're in good shape. You've accomplished a lot. What advice would you give to someone who's younger that's listening to this that maybe sees themselves on a similar path? Maybe it's with a different sport, or maybe it's it's a different avenue, but they have some pretty good big goals for themselves. What would you say to them to help them get them there? Because it's easy just to say, be disciplined. But do you have anything more tangible than that they could sort of take to the bank and start applying to their own life right away?
Every day, wake up and think about your goal. Every day, wake up and think about your goal and think about what steps you're going to be taking that day to get it. What am I doing today? Am I going to the gym today? What are you going to be working on inside the gym? Are you working on arm bars? Are you working on rear naked chokes? Are you working on taking somebody's back? Are you working on your takedowns? What are you doing to get to your goal every single day? Where are you training at? Who are the partners that you train with? Who can help you? Who could stay after with you to go ahead and work on reps with you? How many reps are you putting in at these moves that you want, at these techniques that you want to enhance yourself in? That's what you need to be thinking about. Basically, every day you need to be working towards this goal, and you need to be putting some type of steps forward for this goal. And so I think that's the thing, and it's about repetition. How many reps did you put in today? You say you want to be good at choking people out. How many rear naked chokes did you do today? How many times did you try to take somebody's back today? How many times did you try to guillotine somebody today? So it's just like, it's one of those ordeals. If you want to break down the steps, then that's how you got to break it down. You got to go ahead and break it down. What am I doing every day to reach this?
I like that.
Yeah.
Setting wrestling aside, what do you think your superpower is?
I think it's really just fucking repetition. I think repetition is my fucking superpower, man. I'm a very repetitive person. If I have something that I know that I could be good at, then I'll repeat it over and over again. I'll keep on doing it over and over again. And I think from that, you could just become really fucking good at it. Fear not the man that knows one kick and has done it 1,000 times. Fear the guy that knows that kick and has done it 1,000,000 times. Fear the master. You know, the guy that's fucking kicked that kick 1,000,000 times, that motherfucker's gonna kick you in the fucking face. You're not even gonna see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's repetition, man. That's my superpower.
You got a Bible verse tattooed on you, Matthew 9:29.
Yes.
Why'd you get that tattoo?
Man, it's one of those ordeals. And I think that we had kind of spoke about religion in the very beginning. You know, being inside of my background, being inside of my upbringing, and having faith in having that trust, building that trust is really number one in whatever endeavor you want to accomplish in your life. And I think that verse there, Matthew, it's really, you're going out, you're going to be able to go ahead and set your goals, and you're going to be able to achieve them. Whatever you speak, there's power inside of your tongue. There's power in what you're going to say. And, this is about like two blind men that Jesus Christ was able to go ahead and heal. And they came up to him, and they're just like, we're blind, man. Can you help us? And the fact is they just believed, and then in the passage, Jesus is just like, do you believe I'm able to do the things that I'm able to do? And they're like, yes, we do, Lord. Then according to your faith, be it unto you. Boom. And all of a sudden they could see, but it's like one of those ordeals where if you believe according to your faith, be it unto you. So if you believe that you could become a world champion, if you believe that you could be able to go ahead and master your goals, achieve your goals, you have to first believe it up here, and then you have to put it to action. And so I wanted to have something like that as a reminder on my body where I could see it on an everyday basis. So, yeah.
What's it mean to let me rephrase this, when you become an ultimate business leader, you had mentioned money is one of your goals is to have it. What would financial freedom mean to you? What would you do with that?
I want to give bountifully, basically. But I think the best way to be able to go ahead and give bountifully is do it in a way that you love to do it. And so like having that type of financial freedom, and it's going to be able to go ahead and open up things for me that I can give to others. And one thing is, I love fucking culinary. And I want to be able to go ahead and be able to give that out to others. So I was thinking about this. Boom. One of the little side streams is have a little fucking food truck and just be serving out fucking quesadillas and fucking tacos. The thing is about it though is that I just want to give my recipes to the people that are going to be working inside this truck. I don't actually want to be inside the truck, but the thing is about it though, people need to go ahead and be tasting how good this shit's gonna be. Like I cook a bunch at home. I cook a whole bunch of fucking Mexican food. It's ridiculous. I don't even know where I get it from. I'm not fucking Mexican, but I cook a whole bunch of fucking Mexican
It's so
food.
good, though.
It's so good though. The tacos, quesadillas, all that shit, and it's all over my fucking Instagram and shit like that. Inside of my stores, I got like a whole thing set up, and it's called Sexy Eating. And like if you guys go to my fucking Instagram, the One True King 7, go to fucking where it says Sexy Eating and just click on that bitch. You'll see all the shit that I fucking make. Been making this shit for years, and so I want to be able to give that out to the people so they can get some of this yumminess. But that's just one of the adventures. One of the adventures I want to go into. Obviously, being able to help people achieve their goals, and I think being a motivational speaker would be probably like an end goal for me as well. Being able to go ahead and help people. When I look at like growing up, I would look at people. There's a guy named T. Harv Eker. He's a real big public speaker. Why am I missing his name right now? The dude that does his name is Robin.
Tony
Robbins. Tony Robbins. Yeah, Tony Robbins is so motivational to me growing up, and such a big public speaker, man. And I love his shit. I love his work. I love all the stuff his principles. And I would read his books growing up and stuff like that. So I think I've always tried to apply a little bit of that. And so, having that be something where I can go ahead and give people hope and give people like confidence and how to go ahead and reach their goals, how to go ahead and fulfill their goals. I think that'd be fucking awesome to do. You know, so like I said, that's like kind of like end goal for me. I always wanted to be successful first before I started fucking preaching to people and trying to tell people what to do. But at the same time, though, it felt like I look at Tony Robbins, like I don't even know who the fuck that guy was before he started doing that.
Me neither.
I was like, all of a sudden he just started fucking doing that. All of a sudden, I remember like looking at videos he's with Oprah and shit like that. It's like Oprah's way more fucking powerful and like successful than you, but he's giving her tips and shit like that. He's giving tips to people from like presidents from other countries. Like, who the fuck is this guy? And so it seemed like he put the cart before the horse and was able to do it. But it's like, but he was just like that confident in it, and so like it was just like one of those sort of deals. So I don't know. I look at it like that. Like if he could do it, I could do it. You know?
Yeah, I couldn't tell you if you put a gun to my head what his history
Yeah.
was before. I've always just known him as the speaker.
Yeah, just a speaker.
Yeah.
Yeah, but all of a sudden I just saw like the first time I saw him, he's like with fucking Oprah Winfrey and like presidents of fucking major countries and shit like that. Like, how the fuck did you already get here?
Yeah.
It's kind of weird. But at the same time though, it's like inspirational. That's fucking inspirational type shit. And so, but yeah, you know, like I said, you know, being able to do that. Also, I want to invest in real estate as well. You know, so I want to be able to do that. One big goal I've always had is like, let me go ahead and buy up fucking real estate around a college campus, and then basically just see where that shit goes. And so, you know, it's like one of those, because that shit's never going to depreciate. And so, like, I just think about shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Once the money starts getting good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just think about shit like that. Yeah. You know, so yeah, just different streams of income, man. You know what I'm saying? And basically, but you do that by giving. You do that by giving and being able to give people a platform, being able to give what you love to people, and give people opportunities. So yeah, I just want to be able to do that.
Why do you want to try to inspire confidence on people specifically? Why is that one of your goals?
I think that's one of the things that people need on an everyday basis. I think people need fucking motivation, man. I think everybody needs motivation, whether you're successful or not. And I think people need mentors. And I think it's like one of those ordeals that you could thrive and you could always be better off if you had more motivation in your life and mentors on an everyday basis. And I think that's the one thing that people that aren't as successful inside of their areas or endeavors, that they don't have enough mentors and people that are in their lives and that are lifting up or building them up on a daily basis. And I think that's something that everybody can attribute from.
Yeah, I wonder how the world would change if everyone's confidence could just be clicked up by 10% overnight.
Dude, yeah,
that'd be a very interesting.
All the bums under the bridge, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Just drip that shit up. Also, these motherfuckers are entrepreneurs and shit like that, you know? Yeah, you know, they're not out there fucking just on the curb no more, fucking just like playing the guitar. I'm like, dude, yeah. I remember I talked to one bum one time, man. Yeah, I was just like, and he was out there, man. You know, how they get on the window. Yeah. They get on the window, they start rubbing down your window. And I was like, bro, you know, you can just go and work at the car wash, right? You just work at the car wash. You could actually make money. He was just like, oh, no, man, I got a bad back. I was like, but you're up here doing this shit right now. What you talking about? You got a bad back. We need to turn that lever. We need to turn that lever.
Turn the confidence up.
Yeah, exactly. Like, what are you talking about?
Some pre-workout or something.
Yeah.
His back will be just fine.
Exactly. You're out here doing this shit right now for free. Asking for handouts. You might as well get paid for it.
Are you a big pre-workout guy?
I'm not, man. My pre-workout is fucking hard work. That's my pre-workout. Fucking hard. The only hardcore pre-workout I take is coffee.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah.
Coffee, and I bought all the ingredients to put together my own pre-workout. It's non-caffeinated, because I really like the feeling of the beta-alanine underneath my skin, you know, when you start getting the itchies. So I needed something without caffeine, but had a shit ton of beta-alanine in it, so I just put it together myself now. But that's awesome, man. It sort of blows my mind that there are multiple teens at my gym who are like 15, 16, 17, 18. They got all of the natural energy that in the world, and they're up to a gram of pre-workout. I'm just like, dude, there's how many milligrams? 1,000 milligrams of caffeine in your pre-workout. That's a gram. This is nuts.
They know about it all too. They could be telling me about fucking everything they're taking, shit like that. I'm like, dude, like, what the fuck? What happened to just working hard? You know what I'm saying? They're just on it all. Like, dude, I got this new fucking pre-workout right now, man. This shit right here. I'm like, dude, all right. I'm not gonna have it, but you can tell me about it. You know? It's like that, dude. Yeah. I love it. I love fucking iced coffee. I'll do iced coffee and I do fucking sauna. Those are my two biggest things. Iced coffee and sauna. I love those things. I try to lift every day. If I'm not lifting, then I'm doing some form of cardio. It's like I'll do vice versa. And then basically around like 4 or 5 to 6 o'clock, I'm doing jiu-jitsu. So those are the two things I do really. but dude, my chick, she's really into fucking nutrients. And so, like, she's getting me on all these fucking pills and shit like that now. All the good shit, but the legal shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, you talk about the beta-alanine, all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, creatine. I'm taking more creatine now. I used to not take creatine, but, dude, creatine works. I put that shit in my coffee. Put that shit in my iced coffee in the morning, man. Yeah. Feel good. Feel all tweaked out in the morning. Yeah. Yeah, so, you know, I'm experimenting with it now more, but still, it's not really pre-workout-ish, just on those vitamins and minerals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent. What are you using, if at all, AI for these days?
Oh man. Okay, so dude, Google's AI. I use Google's AI, and I use DeepSeek, for a lot of my shit. So, all right. Throughout my day, I have multiple fucking questions about what is going on in life, about what's happening, what's going the fuck down. And so literally, like anytime I need to fucking use AI, anytime all of a sudden I got it like programmed on my phone where I just hit the button right now and it pops up. I got one of those Google phones and boom. And what's Google's AI called again? It's I talked about DeepSeek, but the Google's AI is called it's eluding right now. But this motherfucker just pops right up and it talks to you like it's a normal fucking person, like it's a normal human. And so I'll just pop that in, just like, hey, when did the first dinosaur really fucking exist? Was it like the Triassic, like or was it like the Mesopotamian? Like what fucking period was that? And all of a sudden I'll just start reading it out to me and shit like that. And it helps me for fucking arguments or any type of debates that I'm getting into with any of my friends and shit like that. You know, just like, there's no way that fucking Kobe Bryant could ever be Shaq. It's just like, well, actually, you know, like
I'll settle this right now for us.
It's so ridiculous, dude. Yeah. I got in a big ass fucking argument about LeBron around the other day with my friends. Because I really do think LeBron would fucking dunk on Michael Jordan. I love Michael Jordan, but I think it was like, dude, LeBron's like 6'9", 260 pounds. I was like, bro, if they actually like went against each other, I think LeBron would just totally dunk on him, bro. And it's like, no, Michael Jordan's the greatest ever. There's no reason, it's like, bro. Let's look at the records right now. Let's look at all the records. And then like, we'll look at all the records. I'm just like, just comparing. I put it up on AI and I snapped it and I sent it to him. It's like, look at all the records that LeBron has fucking broken right now. Look at all and he's still fucking playing right now. Look at all the records. He has the most points ever inside the playoffs. He's like I'm just, and there's just like 6 rings, bro. He doesn't have 6 rings. Jordan does. It's done. It's just like, you can't just make it about rings. It's like, yes, you can. Yes, you can. It's hilarious. It's hilarious. Well, I use AI for all that shit.
What do you think? Do you think we're behind in sort of embracing AI as part of our reality?
I think so, man. I think it's so because it's so regulated. They want to make sure it doesn't fucking all drawn out and just take the fuck over, you know? So I think that, yeah, you know, they don't want it to fucking just realize what it really is capable of doing, you know? I really can exist, you know? Like, they don't want that to happen. And so they're trying to put more regulations on it. But, you know, when you think about, like, Neuralink, when you think about the things that Elon Musk are going ahead and pushing for it now and how he's going and actually putting this and it's connecting nerves back to actually children itself and basically helping them to be able to go ahead and, like, move again and people that are handicapped being able to go ahead and actually, like, walk and move their hands and shit like that again. If you think about the capabilities of this thing, it's really crazy. So what I'm thinking about doing, let's think we surge ahead and we get Neuralink and everybody just has accessible to it. Like it's like we're popping them out like fucking iPad, like iPads or fucking or like earbuds, and everybody can just get a Neuralink. I want to be able to go ahead and just have a Neuralink on me to where like I don't have to use Google on my phone. Google's in my head. So like anything I just have access to, boom, just like right there, you know? I could already tell you about fucking Triceratops. I could already tell you about fucking any of the fucking dinosaurs. I could tell you about different kind of periods, tell you about fucking what's happening in fucking the fucking Andromeda. I could tell you what's happening in space. I could tell you about anything just off within nanoseconds. Like I think about stuff like that and how to advance human. That's how you advance humanity. If everybody just has access to that, I think that'd be cool.
How do you think, if you had to speculate, how do you think planet Earth would change if we did all have that?
I think basically people would always be in the know. They would all, you know how there's like this huge misinformation movement that always goes on online and shit, and people are always trying to go ahead and utilize all this misinformation and go ahead and just throw it to the flocks. Well, instead, we already will know the truth. And so basically the misinformation will just get totally eliminated from being a causation, because everyone will know the truth. They'll be able to go ahead and actually ask AI immediately, and they'll be able to, AI would be within them. You know, just like, is this true? Was there a laptop? You know,
Is
like
Tony Robbins human?
Yeah, exactly. So how do you know Oprah? You know, like you could just know. You just know exactly what the fuck's happening immediately. And so like it's just like one of those ordeals. I think it could help civilization. I think it's like one of those ordeals.
What's a truth you would like to know?
Man, that's a really good one. A really good truth I'd like to know. I need to know what came first, the chicken or the fucking egg? What was it? Was it the fucking chicken? Or was it the egg? Because it could have been the egg, but at the same time, who was sitting on the egg? And if it was the chicken, who fucked the chicken? Gotta think about that shit, you know? It's crazy. So yeah, I would totally find that out.
I want to know if ducks can get boners. I'm still stuck on that one. I don't think they can. But
They gotta be doing something to reproduce. They gotta be doing something. They're doing something in there.
they're doing something in there.
Yeah.
Wrapping up here. How old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm 40.
You're 40?
Yeah, right?
You look great, man.
I know, right?
I thought for sure you were younger than me. I'm 37. Throughout this conversation, I've been thinking you're sort of ageless in a way. I was like, if he told me 28, I wouldn't be surprised.
Mm-hmm.
If he told me we're the same age, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, right?
So
yeah.
you and me are similar in the sense that we didn't grow up with social media.
Oh,
We
yeah.
didn't even grow up with internet. If you had to speculate, do you think your life would be different if you were 20 right now and you had grown up with internet, social media, AI? How do you think that would have been a net positive or net negative for you?
Oh, dude, I think it would have been a net positive for me. Yeah, I would have definitely used that shit as a bane of my existence right there. I would have been able to go ahead and see, you got to go ahead and think what children have in the palm of their hands now. You know, basically at 8 years old, they're getting a little iPad placed inside their lap and they're learning from it, and they're being able to go ahead and do everything digitally. And you know, that wasn't, we're losing like pencils and paper.
Right. Yeah. What's this thing? It's almost extinct.
Exactly, right? Yeah. The closest thing we had to that was just like a Texas Instrument calculator, you know, like that. But you know, just to have all that stuff like at your fingertips, you're able to search everything. You're able to find out everything immediately at 8 years old. You know, I was talking to this little 7-year-old kid, and he was telling me what the fastest car in the world is. He was telling me, oh yeah, you know, basically space travel like that would not be able to be possible for at least another 100 to 200 years, because there's no way that we'd be able to make it to Alpha Centauri, the next sun. And I'm like, how the fuck are you 8 years old and you're talking to me like a sophisticated adult about this? But he just has access to all of this shit. Yeah. So I think it would have definitely, for me, I would have totally turned that on. Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder what 8-year-old David would have been Googling or chatting with ChatGPT about. I don't know.
Yeah, right? That's the crazy thing about it. Yeah, but I would definitely I'd be using that shit on, they would have to take that shit away from me. I'd be in bed probably at night just like, okay, yeah, how do we make it to Andromeda? Yeah.
Dude, there's one time I think I'm similar to you in that I put so many things into ChatGPT just to almost curiosity, just to see what it spits out, and I'm curious what the answer may be. And there is one day where I was feeling a little bit low about something. I don't remember what it was, but I went in there and I was just like, man, I feel like complete shit about myself today. I want to shut down my podcast. I want to do this, that, or the other. And Chat wrote me back, and just all it said was like, you know, remember that you're a strong person. Like, I wish I could pull it up right now. And whatever it said, it was so simple. And it sort of just was a reminder to me. I was like, you can completely change someone's day by just saying just the kindest, simplest phrase of like, Darion, you got this, man.
You could do it.
You're going to be fine. You're going to be great.
Yeah.
Just get through the fucking slump. It's a weird, you know, it'll last
Those
24
words of wisdom,
hours,
man.
a week maybe. But just keep powering through. Don't shut the fucking podcast
Exactly,
down.
man.
Don't do that.
Yeah, like you're saying, just speaking confidence over somebody's life, man. You know what I'm saying? AI now knows the power of that too, you know?
Yeah. Did you see The Matrix?
Of course. Yeah, I love Matrix. Those are one of my favorite movies.
I feel like with ChatGPT, you know how like when Trinity needed to learn how to fly a helicopter, she would call into the ship, they'd run the quick program, and then she knew.
Boom.
I'm like, we are living in that now because we have that in this box right here.
Yes, dude. Yeah, that's the thing. You know, if you want to fucking be able to fly a plane, if you want to be able to go ahead and just do a helicopter, do anything that you want, it's literally at your fucking fingertips. It's so weird in this age that we live in, you know, and so, dude, possibilities are endless right now. You know, it's crazy. And I think that, like I said, you know, plugging one of those things up to your head like that, where you just could Google just like that, dude, that's next.
Yeah. What if you could pull a Thanos and you could snap your fingers and immediately solve any one problem, poverty, cancer, everyone has clean water. It's immediately solution is there. What problem would you choose to fix?
Damn, that's a really good one. If I could, I think one thing that we don't embrace as much, you know, because I think a lot of people, you know, would hit on the cancer, would hit on the poverty, would hit on these things, but a lot of people don't embrace mental health awareness enough. And I think that's something that I would definitely go ahead and be able to hit on. If I can go ahead and snap my finger, I would make sure that everyone had access to mental health awareness, where they had access to counseling, psychiatry, they had access to all of these things, so they can know exactly what's holding them back in life within. You know, like how can I break through these barriers? What do I need to do next? What are my next steps? And you know, because like I think that's what really people suffer with on a daily. But a lot of people, even if you're successful, you could still have mental blocks. You could still have all those things in your head. And what's the best way to go ahead and get through them? Well, you know, what are the best techniques to utilize on a daily basis? Is this deeper? Do I actually need a psychiatrist? Do I need things like that? So I think that's really what to focus on.
I love that answer. Darion, this has been so much fun, and I, you know, to ping off of that, I really appreciated you coming on the show because in all the answers you gave me, there is no magic pill, right? You have not done anything that any human listening can't do themselves. No. Drive, dedication, repetition. There wasn't anything crazy that you said. I'm not trying to diminish all your accomplishments, but it's more so that if there is someone listening who feels like they don't have what it takes, my hope is that they would just sort of take responsibility over their own life and be like, am I putting in the reps? I love what you said too about how you made so many deposits so that when you were ready to cash out, that money was there. Yeah. That's such a big part of winning at life, I feel like, is just putting in the work, and just being laser focused. I should probably spit this Zen out because it's making my throat itchy. I apologize. But I think that, man, so many people could probably just get out of their own slump that they're in if they just started moving forward. I think, you know, it makes me think of that phrase that only what is it, like, only rocks that don't move in the river accumulate mold, you know? And if you let yourself get to a point in your life where you're just sitting, that's when you're probably going to feel the shittiest. But if you can keep yourself moving, you're going to find the confidence. You're going to find whatever that thing is that you feel is missing in your own life.
Exactly, man. Exactly. Keep on making those deposits, man, every single day. Whatever you're trying to venture to, whatever you're trying to fucking achieve, just keep making deposits.
Yeah. Is there anything else you wanted to chat about today?
Man, I think we hit some great topics, man.
We hit some awesome topics. We laughed, we cried, we did all the things. The gym stories were super fun to read. I had completely forgot about the cycling dude that cheated on with the lady. I hadn't thought about that for years. And that's one of the things that I like about just sitting here talking on podcasts is it almost unlocks these memories that we filed away in our sleep, and then they just come rushing back to the surface. I'm like, man, that was such a great story. I mean, it's very sad that lady cheated on her husband. But it also makes for a great podcast.
Oh yeah, story. Exactly. There's a lot to fucking to unfold there. Yeah.
Well, Darion, thank you so much for your generous time, man, and for all your stories and your everything that you talked about with me today. I really appreciate it. To the audience, thank you guys for tuning into this episode. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed this today, which I know you did, do me a huge favor, which will take none of your money and only about 2 to 3 minutes of your time. If you listen on Spotify today, give us a 5-star review on there. If you listen on Apple Podcasts, you can do the same, and you can also leave a couple of words of encouragement, either about what you liked about this episode, what you liked about this podcast as a whole. If you watched on YouTube today, hit that subscribe button so we can continue to take stories like Darion, spread them to anyone that needs to hear them. And if you guys do this for me, my promise to you is that I will continue to find awesome guests to light your internal fire every Saturday night. In the meantime, guys, stay healthy, stay happy, and we'll see you next week. Bye, everyone.